Yo.
What's happening? What's happening?
In the building, people, what's going on?
What's happening?
Grabbing his glasses off. Have you put away the dinner as well, Scott?
Yeah, it's all done, mate. It's all done.
I see somebody in the top looking all proud as punch with a winter. What kind of scarf is that? Woolies?
What kind of? It's a scarf, mate. It's a scarf, mate.
That's from
Gucci. Spurs.
Spurs.
Oh,
Sainsbury's scarf, mate.
Spurs.
Yeah, you're gonna know us tomorrow, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the energy up, fella.
Well, I'll have it up. Let's just keep the pleasantries for 5 minutes and we get into it. People, welcome along. It's the Fixture List Show. Robbo is in the building. Daddy Ernie's in the building. Spursy Earns is in the building. The great cool ruler, Rodney Hine, and Scott James. I don't know how Scott James managed. I really don't know how you managed, Scott, but it's good to have you back because the West Ham way has been a much talked about conversation on the show. We've established there isn't a West Ham way, and there definitely is no more ways for you, no more routes to Stansted because you're out of the cup. But we'll talk about that. We got a whole week of football and, of course, what's happened in the week. How's your week been? Let me start with Earn. Because we haven't seen you.
Yeah.
You hiding?
No, I'm not hiding. Just recuperating, mate. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to finish this season with happiness, mate, because it's still up in our... We should have sewn up this top four a long time ago. But don't worry about it.
And
I'm all right.
Daddy Ernie, how's your week been? You got a win in the week?
Yes. And
you watching football again now?
I'll tell you what. I glimpsed some highlights from it, and we looked like we played better without Maguire. The team looked... I mean, Mata was in there. He kind of just glided around the pitch. Ronaldo looked like he was on top form. Yeah, I think it was a better performance than we've had over the last... Well, I've lost count, really, but I was happy the way they played against Brentford because we thought that Brentford was going to beat them.
Yeah, we all thought that. So the Maguire conversation is still looming, yeah? It's still a Maguire thing.
No, I think, I mean, I don't know if anyone saw the game, but I thought we looked quite comfortable without him in the side.
Okay. All right. Rodney Hines, you get to peruse your eyes on a lot more games than us. It is your job at the Voice newspaper. But I bet I can guess where. No, I wasn't going to say where you were because I know you wouldn't have been back by now. But I know you're definitely watching West Ham. You're like Ernie. It's your second club.
Yeah, just happy with that journey, which is over now. But just to go back to the Man United, it probably shows you when Man United have fallen. It was a waste of time, that game against Brentford, in all honesty. I didn't watch it. I turned it on and I saw Mata and Matic in the midfield for Man United. I thought, my God, what is going on?
They never played bad though, Rod, did they?
And he liked it.
They never played bad. I mean, they're not going to be there next season. We know that.
No, I mean, I think Gary Neville during the commentary said it was like a testimonial, that game. And just the fact that United are happy to get out of town with a win against Brentford says it all. But what I would say is big respect to Ronaldo every day of the week. Still scoring goals, still the ultimate professional, gone through a lot of challenging personal issues in recent times, and has been the saviour for Man United this season. Simple as that.
I agree that.
As for West Ham, followed them. Really great journey in the Europa League. It's sad it happened last night the way it did. No, just
is it sad?
No. Well, I know Tottenham, West Ham.
He said for real supporters of football. That's what he said for.
Nah, he's not. Nah. I feel sorry for the ball girl, mate. The ball girl. I feel sorry for.
I mean, the point I was going to make is that it's ended with Creswell with a second red card in 2 games, I think.
Should he have gone though, Rod?
Yeah, without doubt. The referee didn't want to send him off initially.
Really? No, he couldn't. He went over to VAR. What's your take on that, Scott? Do you think he should have gone?
Yeah, I think it was a red. It was a red, definitely. It was a red. In some Premier games, possibly it may not have been a red, depending on the referee. But when I first see it, I said it's a red straight away.
I think it only became a red, Scotty, because the referee was pushed to go and look at the monitor.
You're right. I agree.
He gave a yellow initially. You know.
Yeah, when you sort of see it from all the different angles and you watch it over and over, then you kind of come round to the fact that it technically was a red, but he touches him. He doesn't really yank him down. They're both touching each other.
That was a red card all day long.
And generally, when they get pushed to the monitor,
I'll be livid if that happened to us.
Yeah. If you would
see that was a red card.
If it was Antonio,
I don't know, mate.
End, I'd be asking for the same thing. So
well, this is why having these little trips at Stansted back home, they give you experience. That's how the referees do it in Europe.
Yeah, sure.
One touch and you're off, mate, and that's the difference between the Premier League and playing in Europe. But there were other games also. We have to congratulate. Who are you congratulating, Ernie?
Well, we've got to congratulate Real Madrid because even now. I don't really know how they managed to turn that game around with what was it, 2 minutes left? Manchester City look crestfallen, but I think it's going to spur them on to take the Premiership.
Oh, okay. We could talk about that later on. What about the team up north? Because I mean, remember you were telling us how great football is north of the border, and Scottish football is so fantastic, man.
Yeah, that was good.
First final in 14 years. Can't be bad.
Not bad though, man.
And when you look at the Rangers team, I'm not familiar with those players, Rodney. But your ex-player, he's put together quite a little team. They look like they were out of the race for the Scottish title. But I think Van Bronckhorst will. He looks like they won't
win the title, but
not this year. But what he's done.
All credit to them, all credit to them for getting to the Europa League final. I think playing the second leg at home was great for them because they've got a special crowd there as well. And boy, I've just got to go back to Scotty and those West Ham game. Those Eintracht Frankfurt fans, man, they are something else, aren't they? They're a bit live,
different, isn't it?
Yeah, they are
different.
I was at the first leg last week at London Stadium. And I tell you what, for the first time, I thought West Ham were playing away because Eintracht come there up in the corner where all the away fans go, and they made a noise. They were bouncing off the walls, and even more so yesterday at home.
They're different, mate.
Yeah,
the
different.
thing is, I think we lost the tie in the first 2 minutes at the stadium because obviously he was at the stadium and the build-up, the energy in the stadium. We had all the firework display and all the build-up. All the fans were singing before the game kicked off. So there was a lot of atmosphere in the stadium, a lot of atmosphere. And then 2 minutes in,
concede a goal,
like bang,
which was totally
what is going on. So it absolutely ruined the atmosphere.
But to go back,
they weren't ready. Somebody still had the matches in their hand, like.
But to go back to Robbo's point, well done to Rangers, but they've got a special crowd as well. So
they've
got a special crowd.
Then one of their players used to play for Liverpool, innit?
For Rangers,
the winger, yeah,
yes,
that's what he did.
Ryan Kent.
He's a good player, man.
Yeah, I could see him in the Premier League sooner or later.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't do much for Liverpool. It was like it was tough for him at Liverpool. But yeah, there's quite a few players that have left and gone on to do. In most teams, gone on to Scotland, and they look like world beaters. But Scotland, as we know, is Scotland. You know what I mean? So well done to them. Let's talk about this quickly. The Real Madrid Manchester City, because I just got a message right here, right now. I think it's one of Ernie. It's got to be one of Ernie's friends.
We started early, I think, Rob.
I want Manchester City to lose the next game and Liverpool to draw against Spurs and for them to have a shootout in the next 3 games. It would be 2 games, wouldn't it? Won't be 3 games. Rodney?
3, innit?
3. After this weekend, it's 3, isn't it?
Okay, next 3 games,
Yeah.
and see who wins the title on goal average. Scully, you clearly don't support Scully. Frank Scully is Chelsea.
He's Chelsea.
You would say that, innit?
Yeah, he's Chelsea.
Scully's on something,
say
mate.
that.
We ain't coming to your house to draw for nothing, mate. No way, we ain't coming to.
We'll talk
I don't care about the history.
We will talk about the bruising your team's getting when they come to Anfield again.
All right,
Run over like a truck, Bridget. But
all
we'll
right,
talk
mate.
about that. But how, as Ernie said, how the hell do you lose? I mean, let me say what I think. If you take off your talisman in the 71st minute in European football,
I mean, what was he thinking? He's an idiot.
I totally agree with you. If Pep Guardiola's career at Man City is going to be defined by the Champions League or the failure to win it, it has to be taken off your talisman, as you said, with 20 minutes to go. And I'd also say...
He was rubbish, though. Let's have it right. He wasn't good.
It doesn't matter.
It matters.
Always capable of turning into a little bit of magic. Yeah, if Grealish takes an opportunity lastminute.com, it makes it easier. But I would say really it's another tale of that fragility that Man City have in the Champions League. There are so many. But why? Because until you've done it, you've not done it. Do you know what I mean? It's that mental fragility.
But he's won it before.
Yeah, but not with this set of players. And we're always getting a semi-final defeat. We're getting a final defeat again. They started the final, if I'm correct, against Chelsea last year as favourites. Yeah? And they lost that. So there just seems to be, until you get over that Champions League line for Man City, there's an issue for me. There's an issue.
I can't understand it, because if you check it, they should have scored at least 6 goals in both games. The first game at the Etihad, they had 101 chances, so they're not that far off.
They're not that far off.
Grealish is one.
Yeah, they're not that far off.
Man,
but the bottom line is, I don't know if you remember the first leg. Mahrez went through and should have crossed it to Foden.
Yeah, should have squared it. Yeah,
and those are the sort of chances now that you're looking back on. Put the game to bed. That's the issue.
What about obviously the Grealish? We just mentioned it. The Grealish chance. I mean,
that's in keeping with his entire season at Man City.
I think that's your £100 million rating right there. He's not £100 million.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't just for that particular moment.
It's the season.
It's a moment where if you're gonna spend that type of money on a world-class player, that's when he's got produced. Mahrez did that. He produced.
I'd blame him as well, though, because the first leg he did a massive howler, just as bad though. He could have just squared it off, and that was it.
I blame the defense, and I blame obviously the Ruben Diaz is clearly not as fit as people think he is. You could have left Ruben Diaz on the bench, even though they've got injuries, but they could have gone elsewhere. That last minute tackle was shambolic. You know that you're up against it and you're in extra time, and you stick out a limp leg against Benzema.
And I think also, if you're talking about defenders, Rob, for me, Kyle Walker's come back after a long injury.
Oh, I was about to say that.
Yeah, he's not.
I was about to say his name.
He's not up to 100% either. But yet he was the only man that could be to keep pace with Vinicius Jr.
They missed him both legs, man. They missed him both legs.
Because you remember when Vinicius killed Fernandinho in the first leg?
Yeah. He wasn't doing that to Walker.
And you can't do that to Walker.
When they moved Cancelo on the right-hand side, Vinicius wasn't... He knew he couldn't outrun... He knew he couldn't outrun Cancelo.
I think he could outrun Cancelo, but Cancelo would use his brain on him in terms of just jockeying and being in the right position.
You saying Walker ain't got a brain?
No, I'm not saying he's got a brain, but he's.
I'm saying he ain't got a brain. He's very strong. He's very strong.
I know him. He's noted for his.
I know him very well,
and he's a world class.
Yeah,
Some had a good game against Man City, didn't they, Scott?
Who
in the Premier?
West Ham.
Yeah,
we beat him, didn't we? Knocked him out the cup.
Yeah, I mean, what was West Ham doing that Man City didn't do against Real Madrid?
But this is Champions League, Ernie. It's a different game.
It's different, but it all boils down to chances taken. If you go back to the West Ham game in the first leg, when right at the end of the game, Bowen hits a bar, he does a bicycle kick and hits the bar. If that goes in, it's a totally different game.
And they come to your place next weekend, don't they?
What's that?
Man City are coming to West Ham next weekend, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So
if any of you lot had Son, it would be easier, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
It's chances.
Stop that, man. Stop.
It's just chances. It's just fine lines. Football is we're talking about things. Chances taken by players is a fine line. It's all a fine line.
Yeah, I think you could say that when they were at home, Manchester City, but going away from home, bro. I mean, you just lock up, but you just don't.
Grealish isn't
100 mil.
No.
He wasn't needed. He wasn't needed, mate. I don't know why they did that.
It was an alternative to not getting Kane, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
It was never getting Kane.
That's all it was. It was just a panic buy. That
was ridiculous.
Or whatever. But
do you think it was a panic substitution? I mean, the obvious person, if you took off Mahrez, the obvious replacement for Mahrez would have been Sterling. It wasn't about trying to beat 20 men. It was just about keeping the rhythm.
And Sterling significantly was the last option, wasn't he, in terms of substitution?
But he's done now, Sterling, isn't it?
Nice.
You know what I mean?
He come on. He didn't change the game, did he? Both.
He's going Newcastle, mate.
Come on, man. Come on. Let's
Sterling and Grealish, when they come on, both of them.
I think the Grealish was a far worse substitution because it was all about Mahrez did a job for 72 minutes.
And scored the goal.
It's about keeping the ball away from your player. Who would defend their half? Grealish or Sterling? Who would defend better? It would be Sterling.
Yeah, it would.
That's my opinion.
You know what, my heart.
Once you've taken off, I always remember the Champions League final. Sorry, Ernie, but when we go back to the Champions League final with AC Milan and Liverpool, Gerrard was playing and he was popped, mate. He was gone. He was blown out of his arse in that Champions League final. And if you remember, Rodney, he took off, Rafa Benitez took off, I think it was Steve Finnan or somebody in the back, and put Gerrard as right back. It was like, that's my talisman. Yeah. He stays on the pitch. A year later, it was the FA Cup final. Liverpool played West Ham, if you remember, Scotty. And if you remember, again, Gerrard was blowing out of his back.
Yeah.
You don't take him off because it takes one moment of brilliance. And it's such a pinnacle game, Champions League final, semi-final. Kevin De Bruyne has to come off after 70 minutes. Listen, hold this talk about him being the best player, blah, blah, blah. Hold that talk. You don't take them off. That's just my opinion. If you have to amble around with one leg, you put him up front. You don't take him off. Would you have taken off Rooney? Would you take off Kane?
Come on, mate. But the wickedest thing...
It wouldn't take off Harry Kane. You wouldn't take off Harry Kane.
You know, De Bruyne wasn't good. And if you check it, my heart goes out to Bernardo Silva. He was easily the best player on the pitch. My heart went out for him. He should never have been on the losing side. So he could have done something. The dumbest substitution for me, which I can't believe no one's mentioned yet, was Fernandinho. What was he doing? He's about 47, isn't it? How is he coming on in this game?
He's 36.
He can't be coming on now. Champions League. How many times do you go around on the pitch?
He's got a defensive brain, bro. Liverpool would do the same.
Defensive brain. He's got a defensive brain. He ain't got the legs, mate.
Yeah, but
that Cavanigo, that midfielder guy who was up.
Camavinga.
Come on,
it wasn't a fair fight, mate. It wasn't a fair fight.
You just defend your space, bro. That's what he's got.
I mean, Liverpool would have put on Milner. Would have taken him.
Of course, we would have. Would have put on James Milner, and he's 41.
He smells as well. I tell you what, I'd love to see him tomorrow. Put Milner on tomorrow. That'd be lovely.
We'll put him on. We'll put him on right on.
So, Robo, you must be confident then that you're going to lift your 7th European, because these are the two most successful clubs in the history of the Champions League.
I'm not confident. One thing I saw in that game, and you probably won't understand, Ernie. It's a force. When these teams come out, it's a force. Ancelotti, if you watched him, when they took off Kevin De Bruyne and the goal scorer, he turned around to his team. And did you see that? He went like that. Calm down. Just lift his eyebrows. He just knows the force was with him. He goes, their force is weakening. And I believe, this is just my opinion, I think that's how Liverpool plays in Champions League final. I think Real Madrid do it. They just played and they believe they're going to win. That was just sheer belief. That was the difference between Man City and Real Madrid. Belief. If you believe you're going to win, you probably win. But this final against Real Madrid, it could go anyway. But I believe Liverpool will beat them second time around.
I can't see it, mate. I can't see it. I see that fella. What's his name? The geezer with the wet look. What's his name? Vinicius. He's gonna have a field day against Robinson. Robinson is on the same side, isn't it?
No,
or is it Trent?
Same side as Trent.
Oh, even worse. How's he gonna keep up with him? Come on, man. Stars win fights.
You're looking at these isolated incidents. You do your homework on them. You just
listen. You guys. I tell you. I tell you what. You guys are rock and roll football. All you want to do is pace.
Belief.
That's cool.
Belief.
But then they've got people that will keep them. They've got Cruz and Modric. All they need to do is hold the ball and let you guys run around like flies.
So they got two players that keep the ball. We've got one. It's called Thiago. And your point is?
Thiago.
Probably Casemiro is going to be probably key.
I hate him. He should be nowhere near that game. He's horrible. He's Casemiro.
But he does the ugly stuff. He does the ugly stuff.
He's not good though. He's useless. He's going to give away a red card, mate.
I'm not worried about keeping the ball. I'm just.
You was better off playing Man City.
But we'll talk about that when that time comes. We'll definitely do a special. I know Ernie's going to invite himself. We'll do a special. We'll talk about it. So that was the. Did we mention Brentford?
No. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, we did.
So obviously this week we got the game. Got fold up, bro.
Yeah,
you're dead. You're coming to Anfield and you're wearing your flag.
What's that mean?
You think you're coming to Etihad?
What's that mean? We're going to Anfield. I know the record's not great. Listen, you can talk about the record all day long.
What do you do when you come to Anfield?
The current champions.
What do? You lose.
We lose all the time. We do. But you know what the difference is? We got Conte, mate. Yeah.
Conte's not
That's the difference.
Pitch, bro.
He's not going to be on the pitch, but you know he's going to be energized and telling you what to do. Listen, if we can smash Man City home and away, I have zero problems dealing with you guys. Zero.
Scott just said
the only problem we have is your stadium.
Doesn't mean any. What does that mean?
And the referees arseholes, they disappear when they hear the Anfield roar. Absolutely brick it when it's you guys. Oh, VAR, ref, foul. And then the referee don't know what to do. I need a ref that is not going to be influenced by the crowd. Because Anfield, when you go there, it's not against the players, it's against that cauldron of a stadium. If we can cool that down and just chill, no problem. No problem.
So
we don't even have to win.
In your head-to-head against Liverpool, Liverpool has won.
Yeah, we've never won
19 times.
Yeah,
you guys only won 12 times in your home games. The last season, obviously, the fixture was earlier this year was 2-2 at Tottenham's ground. We all remember the tackle Harry Kane and Robertson. He should have gone. It was a red card. Before that, we came to your yard. We slapped you 3-1, and then we beat you even before that. Christmas 2020, the last time.
Yeah, we don't do well against you guys.
We beat you 2-1. I don't know what you're smoking, bro, but you're not winning at Anfield.
Yeah, okay. We don't even have to win. We can draw the game, no problem. But I know we will score a minimum 2 or 3 goals because you guys hate defending. Hate it. You push up. So if you check it, you guys are built for us. The way you play, you are absolutely built for the way we play. Absolutely.
All right,
loose legs.
Are you the best? Do you believe you're the best counter-attacking team in the Premier League?
Yeah, I do. What do you want me to lie? Yeah, I do. Why should I? Listen. You know what's annoying me?
I know it's Patrick Tapping, a staunch Spurs supporter, is keeping very quiet when you're speaking, so he's not very confident.
Patrick, listen, don't worry about it. It's not that confident. Listen, it's not. I'm talking about styles. Yes, Liverpool are very dangerous and they've got so much energy. They need to get a piss test for sure. I don't know how they can run for so long. But then there are times when I feel with our players, we can cause damage. We can. Do you know what I mean? We can. And everyone's talking about this Diaz because he can do 1-2 tricks. What do you want, tricks or you want finished product? Both came at the same time. One's younger, Kulusevski and Diaz. Who's a better player?
Same people, guy you want to go?
We wanted to buy him, but then we realised I don't miss him. Why would I miss him? Have you seen Kulusevski's numbers?
Not in the same league. Anyway.
Who's not in the same league?
That's going to be at 7:45.
What's he talking about?
7:45 on Saturday. Before that, we've got a game that Chelsea, we have a few Chelsea supporters. Chelsea got Wolves. Chelsea could do a wobble. It's looking like I'd say Tottenham and both Arsenal, which we will talk about that for next week, look like they're not far from taking a third spot. Could it?
I told you the other day, didn't I?
Let's ask Scott, because
West Ham was there for a while.
You're obviously not a West Ham. You're obviously not a Chelsea fan. You could never be a West Ham fan. Can you see where that wobble comes from, or you see that did you see that wobble come from West Ham? I mean, sorry.
Yeah, I can. I think when we played Chelsea the other day, we was unlucky not to get something there. I thought we was in the game, right to the end. We played very well, considering we played, Arsenal and Chelsea, and either side of the European games. So,
was it around your fixture you saw that slight shift? Was it around your fixture?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea have definitely dropped form. They're not on it as they was. I'm not an avid fan of Chelsea, obviously, but you
no one is.
That,
no one is. That's why I made you start.
I think the situation with West Ham is different to Chelsea. We've wobbled, but that's purely down to lack of players and lack of squad depth. Chelsea have got up to £1 million sitting on the bench game after game. We haven't got that luxury, so we're punching probably a bit above our weight, but at the same time, it's the momentum which we had at the start of the season has slowly slowed down towards the end of the season. Go back maybe 6-7 weeks ago, we might have beat Chelsea if they had played the same way when we was in form a bit more. And same with Arsenal. I think we could have got something against Arsenal maybe 6 weeks ago. But that's football. Right. That's how it goes. As the season goes on, it catches up with you. And I think, West Ham, towards the end of the season now, have run out of steam. They've run out of steam. And that's
Rodney, your beloved Arsenal are only 3 points away from Chelsea. You've got those 3 games. Literally, you could close the gap. You've done it before in a fashion we all remember, where you just popped up and hey, Arsenal are second in the table. Do you see Arsenal closing the gap? Because obviously, get round this big game with Tottenham, 3 games.
To be honest, I'm not sure about closing the gap to Chelsea, because Chelsea have got some winnable games at home, from what I can recall. I think they might have Wolves in there as well, who have totally fallen away, by the way. And never get people.
This is the game they've got, yeah.
I think with Arsenal's youngsters who've done really great up until this point, don't forget, not too long ago, we were talking about them losing 3 successive games to mid-table teams. I think it was Southampton, Palace, Brighton. Then all of a sudden, they've won the games that you probably expected them to lose, away to Chelsea, away to West Ham, home to Man United. So I just think that Arsenal are so inconsistent that they will still probably need to do something special to claim that 4th place just on its own steam. Massive game against Leeds on Sunday at 2, which obviously follows the Tottenham-Liverpool game on the Saturday night. That's a tricky game for Arsenal. You don't look at that team and say there's great experience in there. Leeds are fighting for their lives as well. So if Arsenal were to slip up against Leeds, I don't think anyone on this line would fall over with great surprise, because that's the inconsistency that young team has right now. They've done fantastic to be even in the battle, and clearly I hope that they do it. But I just think the week after that, it's the North London derby. The week after that, it's away to Newcastle in their last home game of the season at St. James.
We'll fix the North London derby for you. We'll fix that for you, bro.
Do you know what I mean? Thank you.
You fix what?
Oh, right. You're going to soften them up for us, John?
Yeah, we soften them up.
Listen,
it looks like it's a home. It's there for Arsenal against Leeds, 2:00 at your side.
Manager side a new deal as well.
Well, I mean, listen, I had a Tottenham fan on the line to me today, a good mate of mine, and he said it's a nightmare scenario that Tottenham get bruised at Anfield, Arsenal will win against Leeds. That'll be a 5-point gap, I think I've got it right. And then he said, goodness knows what happens if Arsenal then go to Tottenham and win the North London derby. It's then done, isn't it? It's 8 points with 2 games to go.
I feel your pain, Ern. And speaking of Ern, Daddy Ern,
right,
you got a tough fixture. Brighton's picked up form. I know he's Rodney's favorite side manager. Brighton's done a turnaround.
Wicked manager.
You have a tough game. Man United, you got nothing to play for, really.
I was going to say we ain't got nothing to play for, but pride.
Well, I think you'll so if you can manage to get through this game and the other few games, you guys will safely be playing in Europa League. If you don't, you're going to be playing the Apples and Pear League. This game against Brighton, tough one, 5:30 Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
And you like seagulls as well, remember?
Yeah, I remember that as well. So, Brighton's turned it around. United had a good game against Brentford. Maybe, so...
You're shopping in the wrong shops, man. Brighton, Brentford. This is Man United, bro.
Yeah, but this is this season, isn't it? This is what it's all come down to.
Do you think you can take this game? Do you think you can take Brighton?
Yeah, I think we'll beat Brighton tomorrow. I do think we'll beat Brighton tomorrow.
I don't think you will, Ernie, mate.
I just think that there's some players there who's been calling for a certain individual not to be in the side. He's not in the side, and I think they've come to the party. I think.
Here we go.
They'll do something tomorrow.
If you agree with Daddy Ernie, we'll talk about my predictions. But if you can drop your predictions, those games we just mentioned, Liverpool, Spurs. Let's get some predictions from you guys. Brighton, Manchester United. Brighton are at home. They've turned it around. Lumpty is lumped in. And Trossard. My God. He's turned his career around. And of course, Chelsea and Wolves. There are obviously other games here, but we don't talk about Burnley here. Or do we? Can we start talking about Burnley again?
Well, they've turned it around a bit, haven't they?
Well, let's not talk about Burnley because they play in the same colours as Scott's team, so let's forget them. Sunday, obviously, Arsenal leaves. Drop your score predictions right now. West Ham Norwich coming. That's a banker, isn't it? You're not going to come and celebrate, blowing bubbles. Norwich are down. Could be just like, it could be one of
banana skin.
Norwich.
Could be down, man. It could be a damn squid, man. They're vexed, innit? They're out.
Yeah.
So it could be anything,
when
man.
Teams get relegated, they do play well.
Yeah, they're free, innit? They can do what they want.
They win their games.
I'd say a draw. Man.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about prediction. Ernie, we've got a special guest joining the show. You just said he's joining us, and you ain't told anyone in your description of who the man is, what he does. And even my mate messaged me and he goes,
"What?" Well,
yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. What?
Yeah, but
So,
your mate obviously is not.
My mate, he doesn't know. Fanatic. That's all it is. He just doesn't know.
Fanatic. Well, he could. And nowadays you can Google anything. I mean, the name is.
Yeah, why should he Google when you could just tell us? Tell us now. Break it down, man.
I mean,
he's
more,
standing by in the chat, bro.
Well, I describe him as the first super agent. If you're in the boxing world, you would know him from the Eubanks Ben era. In the footballing world, Laurie Cunningham, advisor Barnsley. The list is endless, really. And I think it's an understatement to say that he was the first super agent. He's the first super agent. And that man in question.
Did he manage you?
Pardon?
Did he manage you by any chance?
No, he did try.
Yeah, soup up the man thing star.
No, he did try, but he said, Ernie, you're just a bit too young.
just ain't got the quality, son. You just don't have it. We are gonna speak to him. He's gonna come back in the chat. Rodney, can you sum up Ambrose also?
Not in an hour, not an hour and 50 minutes.
Well, I want you to sum it up because
respect due to him because
I go
yeah, I mean, listen, also pivotal to the career of Paul Ince as well, Nigel Benn, etc. Set the standard. Yeah, set the standard for black agents in this country. Highly influential in some of the big super fights of the 80s and beyond. Real legend, pioneer of the game. And I think a lot of our sports people on and off field now owe a debt of gratitude to Ambrose for laying a path when it wasn't that easy. And it's not exactly easy now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned Paul Ince there. Can you remember him taking Ince away from you down at West Ham, Scott?
Yeah, he went to Man United in not a very nice way. He was.
Well, he went very nicely. He went there and won the league.
No, he was.
Nah, I think he was wearing. I think he was wearing like a whole tracksuit and stuff.
Before he actually left.
Yeah, mate. I remember. He had a bandana on his head as well. When Man United won, he was out of order, man.
He had a Man United shirt on.
That's where he was going. He was getting dressed to go.
He just got his wages from West Ham. He didn't have the P45. Yeah, he's out of order, man.
It weren't cold. It weren't cold.
Well, we'll find out how cool it is because, or how cool it was,
same sort of thing.
or how hot it was. There's many footballers who've got some dregs of stories of how they've left clubs, and in the media, a lot of the time the players get the blame, but sometimes they kind of bypass the agent. But we have, as Ernie said rightly, a super agent in the house. Super agent, not one of them sleuth agent. Super agent. You know Ambrose Mendy in the house. Welcome, Ambrose Mendy.
Yo. Hey,
how you
Ambrose,
doing?
how you doing?
How you doing?
We can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, I've been listening to the conversation. Can you hear me?
we
Yeah,
can hear you now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fixture list.
Ambrose, so
you sure?
Certain man up the top there, Ern, was talking about this tracksuit, and Scott was talking about this tracksuit. Break it down.
Scott, you're a West Ham fan.
Scott,
you're a West Ham fan.
Yes, of course, yeah.
You can't hear me.
I can
How
hear
long
you.
you been a West Ham fan?
Very, very quiet.
You're very low, Ambrose.
Very low.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason is.
Just shout when you're talking. Shout
talking
like you're speaking to Ern at the top there.
Yeah, in fact, those West Ham fans like being shouted at.
I don't think Scott's hearing you actually.
Scott, one second. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm holding this thing in my hand, so we'll see where we go. Scott, just to tell you this.
Hello?
Is it me or a bad line or what?
It's a bad line. Ambrose.
Was brought up.
Ambrose, we've got a bad line there. If you check back in with your Wi-Fi, try catch it on the Wi-Fi, you can come back in.
By a father and a mother.
Yo. Daddy, Ernie, give Ambrose a call there. See if we can get him back on a better line. Mute yourself as well, because I don't want to hear your shenanigans cussing the man. Yeah. That's interesting. We'll get some clarification. I hope you're ready for it, Scott, man. I hope you're
I'm ready for it.
I think he was a West Ham fan, isn't it?
Did he grow up in in that part?
He
of town,
grew up
right?
in that. I think he grew up in that neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Ilford he's from.
Got it. Oh man, and he left. Sad, man. Sad. So what you guys reckon then? You reckon that Liverpool's gonna choke? I reckon they're gonna choke, mate. I reckon they're choking, mate. Now? Yeah, they're gonna choke, mate.
What's it to choke about? They're in 2 finals.
You're gonna choke the league, mate. All you're gonna do is win the Carling Cup, mate. That's it. That's your lot, mate.
At the end of the day, if Liverpool win only the Carling Cup, it's one of the best seasons I've seen them play football, which only sets you up for the following season, right? You know what I mean?
Because everyone's going to be 34, 35, mate. Have you seen your aging squad?
What aging squad?
What do you mean? Howard's Henderson? Howard's Mane? Howard's Salah?
Man of 30, 3-0.
You can't run like if they run the same way they're running this year, next year, then I want a urine test, because there's no way people run like you lot don't laugh, because it's impossible to keep running like that for 90 minutes without taking illegal substances.
Do you know what it is?
Don't insult me.
What about
don't insult me, mate.
What about Son and Harry Kane? They're about 28, 29.
They go in bursts. You guys run like you've been chased by Rottweilers every game. It's impossible. Look at Robinson.
To be honest,
you know what it is? I think about Liverpool. You know what it is about Liverpool at the moment? I
You
agree
think
with
that
them as
you
well.
think they're on drugs as well?
You know what?
They're on something,
Do you
mate.
think they're on drugs as well? I think the two of you are on
100%.
drugs. You know what I mean?
No, nah. It's impossible. It's impossible to play like that at that intensity
It is
for how
not
many games with
impossible.
no injuries.
No, it's
Don't
not
insult
impossible.
me. Who's been injured? Robertson, Trent running like madmen up and
Trent's
down
been
the wing.
injured. Robertson's been
Trent's
injured
been
this
injured.
season.
Yeah, then they gave him the booster, innit? Then he's back on his feet again. I know how you guys. Listen, it will come out. It will come out again. It will all come out. Trust me. I'm not stupid.
They're still waiting for Ferguson's needles to come out.
Yeah.
Man United's needles.
Scott, you know I'm right, mate. It's
Them man
impossible.
are
Come on,
I
man.
agree with you. I
Listen,
agree. I do really
Listen,
agree with you.
listen. You
Come on, man.
you'll never understand. You see when your team's on smoke, they're just on smoke, and that's just it.
Sometimes
You're definitely on
They're
smoke,
playing the
mate.
form of
You're
their
on
life.
smoke. You're
Where
definitely
do they
on
get
smoke.
energy from? Where
Yeah,
do they
well,
get energy
Come on,
is
man.
that a bad thing? That's
Oh
not a bad
man, no
That's a bad
injuries. No Mane and all these guys, Henderson, no
Mane's had
injuries,
injuries.
constant running.
Salah's had injuries.
Man,
They've all had
mate,
injuries
they
this
had
season.
no injuries,
They
mate. How
have.
can you run
At the beginning of the
faster?
season.
How can you run faster during your fasting? They're fasting for the month and they run faster. Don't
So
take the piss.
So you know about how it works when you're fasting. Then explain to us, how does that work?
Mate,
Tell me how does the fasting
There's
work?
certain times of the hours you can eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, you're insulting me. You're doing some boosters,
not.
mate, and it ain't Pfizer.
not.
It's not Pfizer.
I just need to understand how the fasting affects them. Just explain to me, because I'm
You're gonna get caught out. Armstrong got caught out. You're gonna get caught out. Trust me. Don't worry. It's gonna come out in the end.
Man said Armstrong, you know.
Yeah, live strong. Remember? Yeah.
I think we might have Ambrose back in now.
Yeah, we've got Ambrose, man.
Yeah, for
Good
2
evening,
minutes.
Ambrose.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me
Yeah, that
now?
sounds better. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's loud.
yes,
That's
yes,
good.
perfect.
Some
That's
sensible,
good.
some sensible conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this Ernie's
Scott,
talking absolute wuss,
Scott.
man. He's
Yeah, go on, get out of here, mate.
I know some of the guys who are your neighbours as I'm looking on here now. And if they trust you, I'll trust you with a little story. First of all this crap that is laying around Paul Ince for 30, 35 years, and that's how long it is, and they're still moaning about it. Paul Ince was brought up by John Lyle, who, for those who don't know, was the former West Ham manager, reserve manager, first team and reserve player.
Mm-hmm.
He brought Paul up, dragged him out of police stations, was forever getting in trouble. And then, anyway, I'll tell you the story. We used to go to a restaurant, Rodney, you'll know this, in the Phoenix Apollo in Stratford.
Yep.
And one day after a game or some celebration, said to me, Ambrose,
He's gone again.
can I have a word? I said, yeah, sure. What? He said, look, we've got a player.
No, that Wi-Fi is not working.
Damn it. This
We've
sounds
got
good.
Oh, that story. I need to know the story.
The club.
We want you to feel the story, for
yeah,
sure.
can you hear me? I'll carry on.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go back to
Yeah.
when you was in the restaurant.
Yeah, so he said, look,
Phoenix Apollo.
so we're in the restaurant. So Tony Gall said to me, we've got a kid here, he's amazing, absolute amazing player, but he's a one flash bastard. So I said, what do you want me to do? He said, well, go and have a word with him. Like you could probably get to him, but he won't. He won't listen to anyone. Anyway, so the place was mobbed, absolutely packed. So I walked over and he was talking to his best friend, then still is, Stevie Potts, former West Ham captain. And I said, Paul Ince. He said, yeah. I said, my name's Ambrose. He said, yeah, I know who you are. And at this point, I felt like slapping him, seriously, because I looked at a proper idiot. And anyway, I said, look, can we come seconds? And I've known these most of my life. What have you got that can be a secret from them? I wanted to just, anyway, I said, listen.
Breaking up again.
I'm an agent.
It's gone.
I'd like to
Let's see if we can get. Let's see if we can get.
Ernie,
Yeah,
Ernie,
yeah,
I've got an idea.
yeah.
Call him
Here's
on your
my card.
mobile and
Yeah.
hold the
Loudspeaker.
phone.
Need it sometime.
And hold the phone to
What?
the microphone.
Anyhow,
One second,
nothing happened. About 6 months.
1 second,
No.
Ambrose. Ernie, see if you can call back Ambrose and get him to use either his mobile Wi-Fi or not use the other Wi-Fi. His
Well,
home
he says
Wi-Fi.
that
Just
he's
use the
somewhere.
mobile.
He's in the depths of Essex.
Well, that's why we.
Is it in bloody Chingford, isn't he?
I don't know. He said he's in the depths of Essex.
Yeah, he's like Wanstead side. He's in Wanstead or something.
Should I call him like I'll call you on Wednesdays, Rod? Do you reckon
Yeah,
that'll work?
we need to hear that story, don't we?
I need to hear that story because I can't talk to Robbo again about Liverpool, man.
Just put your phone on loudspeaker and then just put the speaker to the microphone.
Yeah, it's better to hear him than not see him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
You know what I mean?
all right, all right.
The image can just bounce up and down, but if we can hear
Yeah.
what he's saying,
That's fine.
that's good enough.
So he said he wanted to knock out Ince.
Yeah,
He's talking
Who didn't want to knock out Paul Ince, mate?
exactly.
Did he?
Yeah, exactly.
Paul Ince was a very confident guy, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
But you know,
He always
his
has been.
confidence matched his ability as a footballer.
is he a Liverpool legend, Robbo?
Nah, he wouldn't go down as a Liverpool legend. If he stayed at Liverpool longer, like in the way Milner wasn't, I didn't think Milner would have been seen as a Liverpool legend, but it's the amount of times he stayed. Not the trophies, it's just what he's done with the players, integrated footballers there. And I think that's what's helped. That's what's helped him.
Hold on,
But Paul Ince went off to go and play for
Inter.
Was it
Inter.
Was it
Inter Milan? He went.
no when he left Liverpool?
Middlesbrough.
Go
Wolves?
and play for no
Middlesbrough.
Hold on.
Middlesbrough.
I think I've got him.
You mean I've got you?
Right.
Hello.
Yep.
Can
Yes.
you hear him now?
Turn it up,
You hear me
Ernie.
loud and clear?
Turn it up,
Yes.
Ernie. Turn it
It's
up,
clearer.
Ernie.
Yeah, it's clearer. Go on.
Put your volume on full, mate,
Hold on. It's on full.
and hold it over the top of the mic.
Well, you got Nokia.
One of the burners, there, minute.
One of the burners.
Go on,
let me hear.
Ambrose.
Speak, Ambrose.
3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3,
Good,
5, 6,
good.
7.
I can hear that.
Yes, lovely.
Yeah,
All right, let's go.
Go on.
All right.
Good.
So far we've got. Where have we got to, Scott? Because Scott's one of
Basically, the rest. We got to the restaurant,
been-
really, didn't we?
You've introduced
Go to the
yourself
restaurant.
Paul Ince, and you've told him who you are, and you wanted to slap him.
You spoke about Tony Gale.
You spoke about Tony Gale, and you spoke about you wanted to slap Paul Ince. So where are we going from there?
Yeah, so anyway, but I said about 6 months later, can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you. Keep talking.
Okay, good. So about 6 months later, I get a phone call. Hello?
Yeah.
Who is it? It's me, Incy. I said, oh, how you doing? He said, yeah, can we have a meeting? Anyway, I went round to meet him. He said, look, you know you were saying about being an agent? I said, yeah. He said, well, you can be my agent. That's really gracious of you. So I'll set up a meeting for tomorrow. He said, what for? I said, so we can go in and see the manager. So I'll have to use the vernacular. Can I swear on here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he said, no, fuck that. You know, so now if anyone asks me, I'll tell them you're my agent. Talk about down to basics. Anyway, things go on, maybe 4 or 5 months later. I get another phone call from him, and this time he's seriously grief-stricken. I can't display to you how stricken he was, but it was terrible. And in between, like breaking his eye, he explained to me that West Ham have sacked John Lyley, as he called him. And I thought that was impossible because West Ham don't sack, or they didn't then. They had a record of just elevating the manager upstairs.
Mm.
So I said, it's got to be a mistake. He went, no, listen, get them to change their mind. I said, all right, look, you know, leave it with me. First of all, give me a couple of details and I'll meet you at the training ground. I go to the training ground. West Ham players loved Paul Ince. Frank McAvenny, Potsy, they loved him. But everybody knew that John Lyle had been sacked, so he's the last one who found out. So I had a few words with him, and the parting shot was, get the chairman to change his mind. Me, get the chairman to change his mind. Okay. I phone a lawyer up now, the West Ham lawyer, and make a few calls. And I've got to tell you this, I never knew that the dial-in code for Manchester. Never mind anything, I swear to you, I did not know the dial-in code for Manchester. But if I sent in for £1, I did know is that I was very well connected at ITV. And through that, I could get a number. Within 3-4 hours, it was firmly established that West Ham had planned. They were going to sack John Lyle maybe 4 months ago. But in any event, there was no chance that they were going to reconsider their decision. So Paul said, well, if he goes, I don't want to be here.
Wow.
So I went to see John Lyle, and he told me that Alex Ferguson was interested in signing Paul, and they've been watching him for more than 2 years. But they were great mates, Ferguson and Lyle. So I go back, tell this to Paul, and he said, if John Lyle doesn't get his job back, I'm not staying at this club. So I said, well, I may as well tell you, Manchester United are interested in signing you, or at least they were. So he said, if he wants me, definitely. Then I started getting phone calls. Terry Venables, Ambrose, whatever it is, we'll break the British transfer record. Got to have it. I then go and sat down with Ferguson, who asked me to promise him, and I had no reason to, but he asked me to promise him that I wouldn't let Paul negotiate with any other player, any other team. Sorry. So I said, well, that's a simple promise to deliver. Paul, this is the situation. Manchester United come in, you can go. If they don't come in, it won't happen. What are you going to do? The club want you to play for them. Anyway, he decided, and this is the thing that really pisses me off about the vitriol that you get from West Ham fans. He decided, and the record showed, he'd carry on playing for West Ham until something was sorted out, but it had to be sorted out. So things moved really quickly. Manchester United agreed they want to sign him, but they wanted to wait for a specific date. It was at the end of the season. Now we're all laughing. He's happy. West Ham knew what was going on and asked me to come up to go to a meeting. What I'm going to tell you now is the gospel truth, and there are witnesses. So we go to West Ham, go up to see this guy, Cairns, who was the chairman.
Yeah, that's right.
In the procession, I led him first. And he looked up from his desk and said to me, who are you and what are you doing here? So I don't know about big suits and everything else, but I was somebody. I was, even in the playground at school, I was somebody. So I said, well, two things. One, my name's Ambrose Mendy, and I'm Paul Ince's agent. He said, well, I've got news for you. I'm Ince's employer, and I don't want you in this room, so will you kindly leave? So I started to walk out, and Paul walked out after me, and the lawyer walked out after him. Paul's now wife, Claire, walked out, and he had palpitations of the rectal orifice. He bottled it completely and said, no, come back in. What are you proposing? I said, well, what are you asking? So he said, I wouldn't sell Paul in for £1 million. I said, what about 2 million? And very quickly we arrived at 2.7 million, which is going to break the British transfer record. So your luck won't always hold out. Paul went and had a few photos done so that he could go on end of season holiday with his wife, Claire. transfer would go through in the next 4 or 5 days. It got delayed because when we went down to have the medicals, Paul went off one way, Gary Pallister went with him, who was also signing with Man United the same day for fractionally less. And we sat in the boardroom, some of you guys may be familiar with, they have celebratory wine. They all pretend it's wonderful, but it tastes like vinegar. And so we're in this room, big long table, and at the end of the table, there's somebody sitting down, and I thought I'd recognised him, and I did, because it was Sir Matt Busby, who sadly at the time was ill. He had dementia, but he recognised the surroundings, and that's the reason why they brought him to the club every day. Anyway, skip all that. Fergie goes out of the room, goes somewhere, comes back in 5 minutes later at the door. Ambrose, can I have a word? I said, yeah, of course you can. I go outside, he said, the deal's off. I said, what? He said, the deal's off. I said, what do you mean? He said, he failed the medical. I said, don't be silly. He was playing for England under 21 2 days ago. How could he have failed the medical? Anyway, we go up to the physio department, and what it actually happened, whilst we were celebrating in the ball, somebody had come along and started speaking to Gary Pallister and Paul Ince. So he asked Gary Pallister, Gary, how do you feel about the move? Yeah, I think it's fantastic. How do you feel? Fit? Yeah. Got any injuries? He said, I've never even had a cold. So the guy was getting nothing now. Went to Paul. Paul, what about you? Any injuries? Oh, where did we start? And he started reeling off, his arse and his elbow and all these things. Well, this guy was from Lloyd's of London. So, as you can probably fathom, the deal was going nowhere. They decided that he had a pelvic problem. And I protested it. Look, his gait when he walks seems fine by me. There was no complaints from the physio before the England, Finland, someone they play. So, you can't just say the deal is going to be off. That's like finding the wall. Anyway, I saw Fergie, and I think I said to you earlier on, he made me give him a promise. So I said to him, you owe me, or you owe Paul a promise here that you'll give us a chance to prove that this medical appraisal is just bullshit. He said, okay, Ambrose, West Ham are on their way here. Now, Lou Macari is on his way here, saying that he's going to take the player back to West Ham. Well, that was never going to happen. So I said to Fergie, can you give me 24 hours and I'll take him down to Harley Street, or I'll get somebody in, whoever's the number one authority of pelvic region. They said, okay, I'll do that. In fact, try to make it 2 days so you don't put no stress on yourself. I phoned my office, phoned the PFA, what you say were, and it was a mad rush. We all had to get back to London, get him into the Wellington clinic in St John's Wood, and we found this guy, Professor Molnier, who was on his way as we spoke. Been booked on a flight, and he was coming in at City Air Call, and hopefully all this mess was going to be sorted out. So I said to Paul, listen, what you've got to do, when this Professor Molnier comes in to do medicals on you, even if he digs a point that's murderous, just laugh, like them 60-40 tackles, just laugh. He said, yeah, but what happens if there is something wrong with me? I said, well, we don't want to think about there being something wrong. If there is, and there's nothing we can do about it. But I don't think that there is. But this idiot who did the appraisal knows nothing about your anatomy or anything. Just leave it with me. So we go down, constantly checking on the progress of this guy who's on the way, this Professor Molnier. I go back upstairs, see Paul, you know, great player, this day, great guy, but he was bricking. So I said, look, Paul, if the guy sees the slightest bit of apprehension in your face, it's likely to influence his decision. So he said, well, you know, I don't know if I can go through with this. I've got to tell you the truth. I don't know if I can. I said, never mind whether you can. Of course you fucking can. You've got to. You know, your whole life and everything else will change if you don't do this. Anyway, they told us this guy's 15 minutes away. I went downstairs, came back upstairs, give it one more go. Paul, listen, will you just listen to me? Will you get this done? Anyway, I was getting negative signs. So this is the honest truth. What I'm going to tell you now. So I said to him, listen, get out of that bed and give me those overalls. And I got in the bed. He went downstairs, and that's how Paul Ince came to play for Man United.
So the medical was done on you.
Wow. That is mad.
Ambrose.
There you go, Scott. That's how Ince ended up at United.
Unbelievable.
Ambrose, I know you got more football.
Who?
I know Stevie Cox. He's former West Ham captain.
Yeah, Steve, yeah.
They're all,
You can't hear him now, Ernie.
It's gone very low.
you know, at that point they had a great team. But it wasn't, you know, the ICF saying this or, you know, Cats or any of those. I've known most of those since they were kids. All it was a nasty, nasty faction who, how sad can people be? Thomas Ince would have played for West Ham, no question. He dreamed about it forever and ever and ever. But Sullivan and Gold and Brady didn't want anything to do it. And let me tell you a little story about Sullivan, Gold and Brady. When they came
Keep it short, Ambrose, because we're running out of time.
we were exclusive agent when they bought Birmingham City. There's so many things about West Ham nobody knows sod all about.
Well, it sounds like we'll have to do some sort of movie.
You need to do a podcast, man.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Ambrose, can you hear us?
Already in place.
Ambrose, hold on. Go on, Robbo.
Can you hear us, Ambrose? I think it's something we got to do when we have a better line. But would you come back and can we do an Ambrose Mendy special?
Yeah, I'll
Please.
ask him about that. He said definitely.
That'd be good.
Is that something you can do for us?
We want you to come back and do an Ambrose Mendy special when we got it all lined up properly. And because I mean, we haven't talked about Laurie Cunningham and all those people that you was involved with. And
I want to talk about the boxers.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, we have to talk about Ben and people like that. So, you know, there's me and you had a
You
good
can
chat.
talk about anything.
So
You can talk
let's
about anything. As long as
let's
you don't
do that.
get bullshit like bullshit. So whatever you want.
All right. Okay.
we do that. We definitely do that.
We're gonna do that, Ambrose. This line here is definitely messing about. Even if we have to pay for your internet service, but we're gonna get you at some stage.
All right. Respect, Ambrose.
Lovely.
All right, anyway.
Thank you for coming on, brother.
Thanks, Amby.
Wicked.
Thank you.
Mr. Hines, are you still there?
I'm still here,
Yes,
boss.
Rodney's still here. Yep. What are you saying to him?
Rodney.
Yo.
Oh, yeah, so if you can't see me anyway. Rodney, give me a bell tomorrow.
Okay, I will do. All right. I know when he says give him a bell, there's a story
All right,
there
respect,
somewhere.
Ambrose. Thank you.
Ambrose, listen, respect for coming on, and next time we'll just line it up and fix it up and get a big story and make a big issue out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, give me some Tottenham
Nice
news
one.
as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
Nice one,
Lovely.
Ambrose.
Cheers.
Thanks
Great,
very much.
Ambrose.
All right,
Thank
man.
you.
Bro, nice one, mate.
Yeah.
That was
So there
wicked,
you-
man. He's good at telling stories, isn't it?
That was good, wasn't it?
Trust me.
There's
he's
another
given-
one that's
he's
good at
given
telling
his own
stories.
show.
Where have you been?
There
Make
she
it up.
is.
You're gonna make it up.
Wait.
Wish I was making it up. Wish.
So Ernie, man, I thought you lined it up. I thought you had the thing line up down
Bro,
like proper.
Listen. It's just like when we had Coley and them man on the. I would have thought that them man there would have internet personified better than our internet. Something from out of Mars. You know what I mean? But hello, I spoke to him and it was perfectly all right. But he informs me that Rodney says he's in Chigwell and he says he's in the deepest south of Essex. I mean, Scott is in Essex and he's all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to have him lined up nicely on the internet because
don't worry, we're going to get him lined up and get a full story out of it.
as you can hear from that conversation, he's got a wealth of information.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of.
He's got.
I mean, that story is. Well, I mean, it ended by him saying that he'd done the medical.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
But yeah, you wouldn't rule it out. I mean, I've heard that story before, so
yeah.
And there must be so many other stories of agents and players trying to get deals done.
Yeah. Is he retired now, or is he still doing it?
He's still lively. He's still lively. Not in the same way. Not in the same way, but absolute legend. Always got.
What was his biggest boxer that he
Nigel Benn.
Nigel Benn.
Wow.
I went to his sister's 9-night and we was in conversation for 3 hours. I said, Ambrose, long time I ain't seen you. He says, yes, Daddy Ernie, that was it.
3 hours later, you're still talking.
Forget about the 9-night, mate. We was just there. Well, Rodney will tell you because Rodney's spoken to him on news.
Yeah. He's a special guy, got lots of knowledge and information. There is definitely an all-round sports special you could do with that. But yeah.
Scott, you still feel the same about Paul Ince, though?
Yeah, it's a great story. It's a brilliant
You don't
story.
care. You're not having it.
No, I just wanted to ask him. I was going to ask him, was it his idea for him to hold the shirt up before he left the club? That was.
Sounds like it, mate. It sounds like it.
Yeah, I never got to ask that, unfortunately.
Well, when we do the special, we'll get some questions from people and we'll put it to him and see. He'll answer it.
Yeah.
You know what he said? Sorry. He said something about Terry Venables. Does that mean Tottenham?
Yeah.
Probably been Tottenham, yeah.
Would have been Tottenham.
So you could have had Inti at your club.
That would have been lovely. Eh?
Yeah,
we got Wanyama instead. Christ.
Years ago, that was years after.
I don't care, mate.
Around about that time, you would have had Jamie Redknapp.
Hold on,
he hates us, Jamie Redknapp. He hates Tottenham. I want to know. It's not like his dad, is he?
You do right by him. You didn't give him enough medicals, man. You gave the bench to Anderton.
He's the NHS specialist. Redknapp,
Anderton took it for a week, and then Redknapp had it for a week, and it was Anderton.
Redknapp loved Booper. He loved NHS. He loved the knee problem. Army back. We should have the same doctors that you guys have got at Liverpool. You know them ones they're running up and down the pitch.
Crystal, what's been happening with Crystal?
Crystal, I know you've been. You're supposed to be in a good mood because we were kind of like perusing the football, the women's football, especially Jamaica. That under 17s, they just missed out by that much, man. You'd have been going on a jolly to the Women's World Cup. But sadly, you're here with us.
What happened?
I think Rodney, good evening, guys. I think Rodney was trying to say something, but I think he hasn't realized that he's on mute at the time. So I'm not sure what he was.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sorry, Crystal. I'm just going to go back 30 seconds because mentioned Wanyama. And bearing in mind the big game of the weekend at Anfield, I remember Wanyama scoring an incredible goal at Anfield.
You saw that, yeah? You saw it. I saw it. Unbelievable.
Oh, unbelievable. Did you win that game in the end?
No, I don't know. Probably.
We got robbed.
Probably.
The referee robbed us.
Was it a draw?
I think it drew 2-2.
I think it was 2-2, yeah. But the Wanyama strike was special. Anyway, sorry, Chris. Go for it.
That's okay.
That was the game where Salah done the same thing we did to Man City. But he said,
it wasn't the Wanyama goal, though, was it? So forget what Salah did. Forget what Salah did. It wasn't the Wanyama goal, was it? All right.
No. So which goal was better on the day? Wanyama or Salah's?
Wanyama's, isn't it?
Are you crazy?
The goal was the ball was bleeding. Did you see what he did to the ball?
Go back and have a look. Did you see what Salah did to your team, your whole back line?
I don't care about no test. We need to get a urine test. Talking about tape 25 years ago.
Anyway, Crystal, make sure you do us a favor. You and Rodney do us a favor. But going back to the World Cup, you could have been going, well, you didn't have to be sitting with us old guys. You could have been going World Cup, back at the sandwiches, halftime, entertainment. How did Jamaica lose their grip on that position?
I think it's probably safe to say that we never truly had a grip on anything, despite of that's
No.
outside of the results. I think you could see by match day 2 when we faced up against Dominican Republic that there was evident fatigue on show. And then when we moved on to the final group game against Canada, where they literally held us to a 1-1 draw, not us holding them to a 1-1 draw, you could see again that there was fatigue. So by the third game, definite fatigue. And that game was crucial to us because it was basically a top of the table clash against Canada. Like the winner goes on to face the United States in the semis as opposed to the quarterfinals. So that would have been a huge significance in terms of us trying to like get over the line and get a spot at the upcoming U17s Women's World Cup, which will be taking place this year in
But you're not going. But you're not going.
Well, there are other countries
No,
out
but
there.
you're not going.
That I'm aware of. I could also be going and sitting in the fan sections just to soak up the atmosphere. You never know. So Jamaica aren't
don't
going.
sound like you.
I won't be going for Jamaica, but there's other countries out there.
No, that don't sound like a very Jamaican thing to go and soak up nothing. You're not going. Only soak up the rum, but you're not going.
Where is it?
So it's going to be held in India this year.
See, you were ready for it.
I know the culture is right.
India, first class.
Right. Yeah, so like I said, it was a little bit questionable with the head coach starting the same starting lineup in back-to-back games, and you're dealing with girls who are, like I said, it's under 17. So it's not as if you're dealing with the senior team where they can probably hold their own in terms of, maximizing their potential for 90 plus games on the trot. The organizers, I'm not really sure what they were thinking when in terms of how they scheduled the game. At the group stage, you had 2 days separation between each game. So that was a little bit crazy. And yeah, by the time we got to the quarterfinals, drew 1 out of the 4 group games and won the remaining others. By the time we got to the quarterfinals against the United States, who, by the way, came into that game sitting on 49 goals. We just knew that, this was going to be a mountain to climb. Again, a lot of it is to do with fatigue and the coaching ability as opposed to the played abilities of the individuals and, getting them to play as a collective. So I've said it before on my platform that this is something that the coach has to just take the blame for. It's not a case of your players aren't good enough or they don't have the capabilities and the abilities. It was a huge coaching error. You're going up against a team that came into the game, a pivotal game, sitting on 49 goals, and your coaching instruction is to sit back. Who does that?
Yeah. I noticed on your channel there's not lots of criticism, but the people are chiming in on the international women's coach who had a few disparaging things to say about his own players. Who does that? He kind of basically said they hate me. Basically, they don't want me here. That's another story, obviously. How did that resonate with the fans of this growing game in Jamaica? Like,
I think
speaking out like that.
There's obviously always like 2 sides to every story, so we still don't know like the players' point of view. We don't know what the federation are saying. But I think
it Ernie's Friends Federation?
That's the reason why it is very Ernie-esque where they're concerned.
Your mate. What do you mean it's the same guy?
Winston.
No, not Winston. The other dude. He's the head of the
Michael Winston
Ricketts.
and the other dude.
Michael Ricketts.
No,
no, not Ricketts. The one who was on with us, isn't it, Robbo?
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Your friends, your colleagues.
Nah, Winston's my colleague. But even he's not my colleague.
Like,
Winston's going like Manchester United now. He's going to the side as well.
So, sorry, Crystal. Go on.
That's fine. Yeah, so like going back to what you were saying, what you have to remind ourselves, like I said, there's always like two sides to every story. In our case, there's multiple sides because there's so many parties involved. But we have to remind ourselves that this is a manager. He came in on an interim head coach basis, and it was literally he was hired for the World Cup qualification phase. After that, I have no idea what they had in store in terms of if they would allow him to go to the World Cup or get a permanent coach. We have to remind ourselves that he got over round one undefeated, and that's the reason why we're now in the championship phase, where we're one step closer to potentially qualifying for our second consecutive Women's World Cup. And it seems as if there's always been long-standing internal issues. And I don't think that comes
where
as
Jamaica football's concerned.
Yeah, it's not a surprise, is it? I think the whole issue was how, people went about the whole trying to resolve the matter. So I think with that, the huge red flag there was, it's not the fact that 20 players signed a letter out of 24 players saying that they're not happy with what's going on internally. It's the matter that letter, then the issue was that letter then made its way to the media, and that is how you air out your dirty laundry. So I think maybe for the coach, he probably found himself like with his back against the wall. Also, when the media is saying that 20 players are saying they don't want you here, but then the manager is now coming out and saying, well, actually, after 20 players, a few of them have called me up and said, yes, they have. They did sign the letter, but they don't want to get rid of the coaching staff. I think that's significant information that the fans deserve to know because it's now public interest. So yeah, I think for the head coach, I can't speak for him, but people always also have to remind themselves that it's not just him that could potentially lose his job. It's other coaches as well.
Other people involved.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes we don't really look at like the moral side of things. They have essentially that would be like their 9 to 5. They have to put food on the table for their loved ones and so on. So it's a whole mess. We're in the group of death where we do not need no drama, no destruction, no distractions. But it's exactly that where we're at the moment. And yeah, things aren't looking good. We're going to be back in competition where we should be back in competition in June next month for the training camp. And then things kick off again in July for the actual women's championship. So things aren't looking good at the moment. It's looking negative, unusually negative publicly. So
we'll follow it. Remember, you can always follow the stories and obviously the games because Crystal does Talawa TV. Yeah, it's
maybe we get Moisey. Maybe we send Moisey up there.
I'm getting myself drawn into it too. And then I was thinking the other day when our friend, let me see Ernie's face. Let me just put it up before Ernie.
Yeah,
what are you kissing your teeth for?
Whatever.
Footballer of the year. And then Sam Kerr, the Chelsea women, who I was saying, I was watching this girl just rip teams apart for Chelsea, man. But I'm looking for my girl there, man. At Man City, man. I was watching this Sam Kerr and thinking, Lord God.
I mean, to be fair, Bunny did score. I think we spoke about this, that she actually scored 4 goals for Manchester City. That's Khadija.
Yeah, I remember when what's his name? Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France, mate. Yeah, he had to return that back, didn't he? Do you know why?
Yeah.
Do you know why? Yeah.
What you say,
bastard? Yeah.
What you say?
You know why?
He didn't win the Ballon d'Or, but he's the Football Writers Player of the Year.
He return it back. You return it back.
Oh, Rodney, Football Writers. Why did you decide to give Mo Salah Player of the Year and not
Rodney? You got sucked in, Rodney. Oh my!
I didn't have a vote this year.
No,
fix this tie a bit better, Robbo.
I didn't have a vote this year. I mean, listen.
How you vote for him?
I didn't vote for him. I think a lot of people might be questioning why maybe
Mane didn't get it.
Mane didn't get it, if I'm honest.
Why did he not get it?
Or Bernardo Silva.
I don't think Salah. Yes, he's got the numbers, but I think in terms of overall play, Mane could well have been there. I think Mane.
So around the table, who do you think should have got Player of the Year? Starting with Daddy Ernie.
Player of the Year, Mane.
Yeah,
Mane.
Sadio Mane.
Yeah. Sadio.
We're talking about Premier League, right?
Yeah, Sadio Mane.
In the Premier League.
In the Premier League, yeah.
Scott?
I'm going to surprise you and go for Ronaldo.
What?
Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah.
4 goals
He's come
behind.
back into the Premier League. he's an old boy, and he's scored a lot of goals.
It's like he's never left.
It's like he's never left, and he's playing in an absolute rubbish team. With all due respects to Ernie, he's playing with a rubbish team, and he's making them look good.
Agreed. Can't disagree with that.
Rodney, you reckon it should be Sadio Mane? Who should be player of the year?
This year?
Yeah. Well, what year do you think I'm talking about? What Tottenham won in 1950? Son. No, serious.
What do you mean, no serious? What do you mean, no serious?
Forget the joke.
What do you mean, no serious?
No, we want serious. Son should be player of the year.
100%.
That's why you're deluded, Crystal.
I'm deluded, yeah. He's going to win Golden Boot, mate. He is watch.
This year. Who do you reckon has done it more for their club this season? Or actually to light up the Premiership? I think that's how Rodney and his writers would go by. Who's entertained us the most?
Mane. I'm going for Mane. Definitely Mane. Looking at, the backdrop of what he did with his country and then coming back into the Premier League, hitting the ground running, being consistent. Definitely Mane for me.
And Robbo, in terms of that famous press that obviously got an issue with because your guys are
big time.
Right? You know what? If there's ever a number 9, for the want of a better term, that press easy. Mane is the man that starts your press. No one else does it like him for Liverpool.
He's too good.
I've been telling you about Super Mane.
Yeah.
But let me be controversial. I don't think Mo Salah or Mane should be player of the year. I think the player that should have been
Trent. He's going to say Trent.
No, the player of the year should be, for what he's done, Virgil van Dijk. He's been an absolute rock. This whole conversation we're having, Liverpool running neck and neck with Manchester City, is built on the rock of Virgil van Dijk. He has been
one of you pull him up. Someone pull him up, mate.
Footballers where Mane and Salah kind of dropped off after AFCON. This man has sat there.
Don't you dare, Rodney. Don't you dare, Rodney.
I tell you what, if you're going to say Van Dijk, I might be controversial now. When he's fit, and when he's fit, I was going to say Matip.
But this is the difference. Van Dijk.
What's going on today?
Van Dijk has played every single game. It all hinges on Van Dijk, and I put my neck out again. If we have another serious injury, like to Virgil van Dijk, or an injury for a couple of months, bro, we are stuffed. It is Virgil van Dijk. I think he should have been. He should easily be player. Even if we finish second, Champions League, it's been on the back of Van Dijk. FA Cup,
you're taking exactly what the players are taking.
All right, Carabao Cup, no, but I think it should be Virgil van Dijk.
Wherever the players are on, you're on it, mate. For real.
Van Dijk won, I think, the Player of the Year at the PFA Awards a good couple of years ago. So he's had his glory in terms of a personal trophy. But I think, as we all know, generally it's the striker or the strikers that get the glory. There's 22
Kane didn't win it last year. It's criminal. Top goal scorer, top assists. You lot are sickening, mate.
Yeah, but he
didn't win it last year.
Where did you finish last
year?
You can't speak.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you finished last year. It's about him. It's him, not the team. Player of the year, not team of the year.
You got to be able to.
What are we talking about here? He's got a big tongue, innit? He's got a big tongue.
He doesn't deserve it.
Well, let's leave it there.
His tongue's been stung by a bee.
Before we slide out, Rodney?
Yes.
What is this? Oh no, let me go to Ernie. Ernie.
What?
They said a man can't wear his fandanglings.
Well, they're just stupid, aren't they? They're...
Well, what is it? I don't know what they're stupid about. What are they saying? What is it?
Well,
because he can't weigh down. Because he wears his curb chain, his link chain. What is it? What is it? Why is it that they've got a problem? F1's got a problem with Lewis Hamilton's jewelry. What is that about?
I ain't got. Well, they're trying to find something to blame the absolute crap car that he's driving. Must be
F1. I'm talking about, not Mercedes.
Yeah,
F1 are saying he can't wear jewelry.
Yeah,
Rodney, how's it work out? I
really don't know because I have seen the story. I didn't even really want to entertain it. What the problem with the guy wanting to wear his chains? I just don't see the problem. I really just don't see the problem.
Well, Mercedes ain't come out and said nothing about it, have they, Robbo?
No, but I mean,
they're in agreement.
I just saw that there's a problem.
What he does in his professional life.
I can't listen. I can't even mess with F1, mate. I don't understand it. It's not sport, is it? Huh? It's not. I'm gonna rattle some of you today. F1 is not a sport. Don't know what that is.
Well, if it's not a sport, but I'd like to collect the money that he's on.
Yeah, I'd like the money, but if it's no different to watching the M25, innit? You know what I mean? Meow. What's that all about?
That's the shout of the night. At least that is the shout of the night. That is the shout of the night.
How can you sit there and call F1 a sport? It's all about who's got the fastest car.
I thought it was something like horse racing. Where
if they all had a K-Reg Nova, Vauxhall Nova, then we will see who's the fastest and best driver. Can't be talking about F1 when they've got better, bigger engines and better tires. Like it's a sport. Don't insult me. It's such a crap sport, mate. I couldn't give a toss about Lewis Hamilton. He's going to buy Chelsea as well.
I agree.
Don't wind me up.
Are you upset about that? Because he's going to buy Chelsea. You're upset.
No, he's going to buy Chelsea and he supports Arsenal. And we're meant to take him seriously. Listen, don't talk about Lewis Hamilton around here, mate. Get him on the show. I've got loads of questions for him, mate.
I wish we could.
Got no questions for anyone, mate. The only question you need to answer is right now. Let me get your score predictions. Spursy earn tomorrow, 7:45 in your nasty Liverpool versus Tottenham. Please score.
The score, boy. If the drugs text done before the game,
it's the only time he gets serious, you know, because he knows he's on tape. Go on, carry on.
Nah, do you know what? Yeah, I haven't even thought about. All I'm thinking about is 3 points.
Think about it. What's the score? They're coming to Anfield, your boys. Top scoring form.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Spurs. All right.
Crystal,
what's the problem? Did we smash City twice?
We just taking it down. Crystal, what do you think the scores will be tomorrow?
You know what Crystal's gonna say? Crystal, she's gonna let me down, isn't it?
Crystal and Rodney are not biased. No.
Crystal, they're gonna see. All right, just say, go on, Chris. Go on, man.
I hear everyone's available, bar Roberto Firmino. So I'm saying 3-0 Liverpool.
We're not gonna score a goal with Son, Kulusevski, and Kane. We're not gonna score one goal.
3-0
Liverpool. And can we get your score predictions in the chat, guys? What do you think the scores will be? Some of the chats have been tremendous. Some of them have been tremendous. Drop your score. Ernie, what do you think the score prediction is going to be for two?
I'm
going 2-1. I'm going 2-1 Liverpool with Mane to score.
Look at Daddy Ernie as well. Yeah, cool. What you been drinking, Danny? How many you had, Daddy? Hey?
You know that,
how many you had?
It hurts me to say that, but I can't see Tottenham winning.
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah.
Scott James.
Cool. I'm going to go for 2-2.
Well, Scott, mate.
How do you see it? How?
I think he's going to, because I think Liverpool.
How are we not going to score?
What's that?
How are we not going to score a goal?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Even though Virgil's been great, I think they're vulnerable. Liverpool, if you really put it on them, and I think Son and Kane, if they're on the money, then they could get a couple of goals up there.
2-2.
Rodney Hines.
2-2.
I'm going to go
2-2.
Tottenham to score first, but lose 3-1. Wow. I think that.
Wow.
I think Liverpool's midweek performance and comeback, which we haven't really talked about, which is a fantastic display by Liverpool during the week, by the way. We haven't really talked about it for some strange reason.
That was good, to be fair. Yeah, they did well.
That was an outstanding result. Mentality monsters. That result and the comeback, because that's what it was, and Manchester City getting eliminated lastminute.com, right? I just think gives Liverpool all the momentum they need for tomorrow.
Ernie, were you hovering over your text on Tuesday? Were you trying to text me?
Who, me?
No, Daddy Ernie.
No.
Yeah.
No, why? Why would I want to do that?
He's not watching football anymore.
You thought Liverpool would probably have gone out 2-0 down first half?
No, we didn't think that. I didn't think that.
There's no way you're going to lose. Villarreal? I don't know how you even let them come in. How do you manage to like that run?
I think that's the point.
They're a good side.
For 45
They're
minutes,
a good side? Oh, my goodness. Etienne Capoue, Lo Celso, Coquelin. Yeah, a team called the Yellow Submarine. Listen, you're insulting me a hell of a lot today. There's no way you shouldn't have even let them score. Yellow Submarine.
Bro, they
you had a touch through that Champions League.
They finished off Man United and they finished off Bayern.
Go through the teams you played. You played Conference League finest through your running. Real Madrid deserve to get that thing off the bat.
AC Milan.
AC Milan? Ain't Gattuso their manager?
No, he's got.
They got someone like that. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Don't think he played for them. The ex-Arsenal boy. What's his name?
Giroud.
Oh my goodness.
You're harsh, man.
Listen, Robert.
Anyway,
Robert, I'm not harsh.
I'll give you my score prediction. I tell you, Tottenham get nothing.
What's the score then?
What's the score? And guess what?
You're going to win 2-0. Yeah.
You know why it's going to be 2-0? Because we put 2 away, and we got to think about. We know they say we don't think about the next game, but it's 2-0. But we think about Aston Villa. We're not going to waste a lot.
Oh, so you're going to beat us 2-0, and we ain't going to score not one goal
on Tuesday night.
Newsflash.
Listen, Styles.
Patrick tapping. I think the Spurs might surprise Liverpool 5-1.
Hold on.
Bit much, Pat. That's a bit much, Pat.
Patrick's been on the same stuff. He's been on the
Pat's on the same team as the Liverpool thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
He loves it, mate.
He done. I saw him last Saturday night. He did look a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
Quick score prediction. Can we get a quick score prediction for also the game? Let's not do the Chelsea because we have the West Ham fan in the house. But
yep.
The game against Arsenal Leeds. We talked about it briefly. I think Arsenal put them away comfortably. I think Leeds are still pretty in a comfortable position, but I think Arsenal are better than Leeds. Arsenal
3-1.
win.
3-1.
I reckon it's 2. You reckon 3-1?
Yeah.
2-0 Arsenal.
I'm saying 2-2. And Arsenal do score. Arsenal score.
2-0.
Yeah, see that, Crystal? I've done you a solid. You scored, Crystal. You have order, man. Oh, man.
What do you
2-2, mate. 2-2.
What do you say, Crystal?
2-2. Leeds score 2.
Leeds need to stay in the Premier League.
Leave the Arsenal guys for their prediction.
Is that me, Robbo?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. The past results favor Arsenal. Hopefully, they can go and get the job done. So I think I'll agree with Daddy Ernie and Scott. I think both of them said 2-0, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I said 3-1.
Did you say 3-1?
Scott said 2-0. Rodney?
2-0. Oh, Scott said 2-0.
I'll go 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1.
All you lot are wrong, you know. Leeds will get something. Leeds will get something.
Yeah, they're
not going to get licks.
Obviously, Scott has put away his bus pass. Norwich, West Ham. It's Sunday also. Norwich are down. West Ham are feeling down, but last hurrah for West Ham. They can secure the conference pair. What do you reckon the score will be, Scott? West Ham.
Well, as I said earlier on previously, normally when a club does get relegated, they go on to win their next game. So it's pretty much how it works, to be fair. But I think, and to be honest, I don't know whether West Ham feel like that they're just going to try and find an extra push from somewhere again. I don't know. Playing with 10 men for the amount of time they did and a tough game. I don't know.
But you was robbed, man. You was robbed and someone threw a ball at your manager, man. You must be...
The West Ham players, they're on holiday, mate. They're going Magaluf, mate. They're on holiday.
I'm not sure about holiday, but I'll go with a West Ham win. But I wouldn't be surprised whether it was a draw.
Well, you need that win or Wolves are going to get your spot, man.
No,
I see a 1-1. I see a 1-1.
It's a draw, man. I say draw.
Pookie poke one in.
Yeah, I just think that West Ham will be a little bit tired from that game during the week. And like you say, playing with 10 men for the best part of the game. I think Norwich 1-1. Any other side, I think West Ham would lose.
Quick score prediction on Brighton, Man United. We can't let Man United go. Man United got a big game, 5:30 on a Saturday tomorrow. My quick score prediction, I reckon Brighton, Man United, I reckon that's a 2-2 draw. They're both letting goals. 2-2.
Nah, 2-1 Brighton.
Brighton win for you, Crystal?
Yeah. Ronaldo.
Brighton's got back a little bit of form. So has Man United.
Brighton against Manchester United. Oh wow.
Amex. 5:30 on a Saturday evening.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cocorrea. Draw.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott.
I'm going to go 1-1 for that.
Only one goal in it. Each.
Yeah, 1-1.
Rodney?
Just going back to the West Ham game, I think they'll win that 1-0. I think Moisey will pick them up again. He's done it all season.
He picked up the ball the other. He picked up the ball the other night.
Say the ball boys at Norwich need to be careful. So, I expect Brighton Man United to be a draw, and with Ronaldo.
You reckon it's a draw?
Yeah, I think Ronaldo will score again.
Just for fun. Just let me see what side of the fence you guys on. So obviously Manchester City, they've done their best at trying to secure a Champions League spot, but their best wasn't good enough. Ancelotti is a master. But they still have the league to pick up on. Liverpool done it last week. We went to St. James's Park, silenced the crowd and beat them. It was by 1 goal, but they put up resistance. Newcastle go to Manchester City. I think Trippier's back and a few players are back for Newcastle.
City 4-0, mate.
Sam Maximum's upset his teammates. He's done a Lukaku. So they say. But they go to Etihad. Daddy Ernie.
4-0 City.
City win this game, right?
Yeah, City win it. 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 City.
Yeah, I'd say a couple of nil, definitely, yeah.
A couple of nil.
Oh, wow.
I like that.
Let me go to before I'll leave the last one to Rodney. Crystal, Man City, Newcastle. Remember, it's the clash of the.
Don't try and hype it, mate. They're getting linked 4-0.
No, I'm trying to build it up. It's the clash of the oil wells, bro.
I'm expecting like a hefty Manchester City win because that's usually their style when they're humiliated or dashed out of the cup. Yeah, they usually come out like, with vengeance. I
like that word.
Yeah, so I'm glad it's not me that's next in line for them. So yeah, I'm expecting heavy defeat
4-0
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ern?
4-0. I reckon that idiot Jesus will score a hat-trick. 4-0, man.
He's only saying he's an idiot now because he's linked with Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Rodney, save me, man. Come on, man. I'm the only one.
She knows me.
I'm the only one that thinks Newcastle going to turn them over. Rodney, Newcastle go to the Etihad. It's a clash of the oil wells. I think Rodney's frozen. Rodney, he's thinking about it.
He's frozen.
I'm here.
Rodney is freezing. Sorry.
So we had a bit of
clash
technology.
of the oil barons. 2 richest clubs. It's the richest game in Premier League.
Mate, stop doing that. It's not working.
It's the richest.
They're not going to win.
Man City,
Come on, Rodney.
Man City to win that one. No problem.
How much?
I'd say 3-1.
They score. Cool.
Yeah.
Robbo, what do you reckon then, Robbo?
Yeah.
Hello, Robbo.
It's the greatest game coming up, man. Oh, the oils, blah.
Listen, I'm doing it like Sky and I just boost it. It's the richest game in the Premier League. And it's live. I reckon I reckon they get a draw. 2-2. Newcastle, man.
Oh, mate. You're thinking with your heart in it.
And Newcastle are going to come score 1. And then Sam Maximum, because he upset his manager and his players, is going to run the length of the pitch. He's going to see Diaz in the box, and Diaz is going to do the same thing, stick out his foot, trip over, penalty, 2-2 Newcastle. That's what's going to
happen. All right, mate. Just know this before I let you guys go, yeah? Tottenham played a massive part in this league, yeah? If you would have won that game, you would be level on points with them when we drew with you guys. We smashed City up for you guys to come in, and we're going to play another part tomorrow, yeah? So you remember this energy that you're giving.
Watch it, mate.
Yeah, what's
this should be known as the season where Tottenham bottled it in that cup.
We didn't
bottle it.
Well, they just didn't want to play.
They did. It was COVID.
Robbo, just think
everyone else played.
Robbo, if you hadn't lost at the London Stadium, you'd be top of the league now.
Sorry?
That's a good point, mate.
If you hadn't lost at the London Stadium, you'd be top of the league now, mate.
Yeah, mate.
I wish you could make up the league positions by the games you lost before. I think it's just where
It's
you
what it
are,
is.
isn't it? You have more good days than
But
you
we
have
might
bad
do
days.
a favour when we play City, so we might do you a favour then. You never know.
Yeah.
Next week.
They ran out of drugs when they played West Ham, I reckon. Liverpool.
I think it's down to the last game of the season.
I reckon it's going to finish as it is now, the table.
I think it will be the league will be won on the last day.
Hold on, where's Arsenal in the league then? If that's how it finishes, where's Arsenal above Spurs?
Yeah, they're fourth.
What are you asking a question like that for?
They ain't going to finish like that, Scott. No way.
Yeah,
they're 2 points ahead of you, bro.
Yeah. I think as it
I
is
don't
now,
care.
Table six, as the table sits now, that's how it
Get
is.
out of it, Scott.
Wait and see. You'll watch this back in a few weeks and go, was right, that boy.
No, mate. No way. No way.
Well, I still think it's the last game of the season. I've called it, man. I've called it. I've said my piece, man. And you've all had your chance to say your piece.
Yeah.
Rodney Hines.
Yeah.
Scott James.
Thank
Daddy
you.
Ernie. Talawa TV. And Spursy. He might just bottle it.
Look it. Get him off the screen.
And of course, Robbo ranks the hierarchy.
Yeah.
of Liverpool.
Yeah, man. Big up, Robbo. Nice one, guys.
Tomorrow,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you keep it Liverpool. When you say that, we just look at you and do this.
Yeah. Look, even he done it. He's done his teeth as well, innit? He's been on the wacky backy as well, innit? Hasn't he? Hey? About his throwing ghost punches in the air. What's the licks he's gonna get tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, while he's throwing ghost punches, you'll be throwing the patties in the aisle tomorrow.
Yeah. No worries, mate. No. Oi, get that picture off now. Get that picture
guys,
off
listen.
now.
Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back next week with what is it? Is it after the derby? Can we have it right? Will we be doing the show?
The derby, right, Aaron and Rodney?
Derby's Thursday.
If I've got it right, stay there a second.
I think it's Thursday.
It's actually FA Cup final preview next week.
What, we're not going to talk about Arsenal Tottenham?
Well, that would have gone, but I'm saying the next show on the Friday, the following day is the cup final between Liverpool and Chelsea.
How you feeling, Ern?
About what?
Arsenal Tottenham. How confident are you?
What's it? Where's the game?
Well, it's very significant
It's at
because
your
whoever
stadium.
loses
It's at
that
your
game,
place. It's at your place.
whoever loses
The
that game,
the game's at our house, yeah.
if you lose
Yeah.
that game, boy, you're five. You'll be five points behind them.
Listen, Arsenal's not winning that game.
Yeah,
Not even Crystal believes that. Not even Emil Smith Rose that believes they're going to win that game. Yeah, so it's impossible. Write it off. Talking about you're going to come to our stadium and beat us. Are you all right?
No, actually, Ern, just repeat what you said so we got it on tape.
Say it again.
Yeah, say it again.
You see Saka, that fellow who looks like my aunt, yeah, and Emil Smith Rowe. Yeah, he looks like my auntie Gladys. He does, Saka. Yeah. All of those players there coming to our stadium. There's no way. There's no chance in hell they're going to win. So record it, write it down. I don't care. It's impossible. Talking about.
There you have it, guys.
Love it. There we have it.
I think that is a wonderful clip. We shall see you next week, and yeah, we'll do the FA Cup preview. Yeah. It's been the fixture list.
Yeah.
People, we out. See you guys next week, man.
Cheers.
Peace.
Nice one, man.
Bye-bye.
Man.